Top 10 ugliest American cars ever made. Sure, when it comes down to splashing out big bucks on a car, we all want it to have a certain appeal, right? I mean, who wants to be cruising around in something that's, well, not easy on the eyes? Yet despite the best efforts of car manufacturers, sometimes they just don't quite hit the mark, and we end up with some real head-scratchers in terms of design. And you know what? It is often reflected in their sales figures too. Although it's kind of interesting how some of these oddballs manage to find their little fan base and keep chugging along despite their quirky looks. So in this video, we'll tell you about the top 10 ugliest cars ever made, so stay tuned till the end. But before starting, make sure to like the video and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. And now, let's get started. 10. Suzuki X90, 1996 to 1998. The Washington Post had a good laugh describing the Suzuki X90 as a quirky, bubble-shaped vehicle that's hard to take seriously. With its chopped-off tail, mostly glass roof, bug-eyed headlights, and bulging fenders, it's just plain odd. Yet somehow, its ugliness circles back to being oddly charming. Despite its unique appeal, not many folks hop on the cute bandwagon, leading Suzuki to pull the plug on production after just a few years. 9. Nissan Cube, 2009 to 2014. Nissan had big hopes for its edgy Cube crossover, hoping it would turn heads for all the right reasons. However, it seems it gained attention for its unconventional design in ways the company didn't anticipate. The Los Angeles Times didn't hold back, describing it as an air-hating box of ugly, critiquing its appearance as a travesty, a mockery, a baleful parody of auto aerodynamics. Nissan's admission that the design was inspired by a bulldog in sunglasses raises further questions, as the Times humorously ponders, which end is wearing the sunglasses? 8. Plymouth Fury, 1961. Hey there, let's all just take a calm step back from this classic cruiser. Okay, the 1961 Plymouth Fury was something else. I tell you, it lived up to its name, with that fierce-looking front end that seemed to glare at you. According to Curbside Classic, it wasn't the only car sporting that intimidating look back in '61, but it sure made an impression. You walk into those showrooms across the United States, and there it was, staring back at you, possibly even haunting your dreams later on. That Fury, with its furrowed brow and menacing stance, was like nothing else on the road. It had a way of grabbing your attention and not letting go. 7. Ford Taurus, 1996 to 1999. In hindsight, Ford's decision to overhaul the Taurus in 1996 with a plethora of ovals proved to be a misstep, signaling a departure from the formula that had made the model a success. The abundance of oval shapes gave the car a distinct yet peculiar appearance, akin to a marshmallow squashed onto wheels. Critics, including Road to Track, didn't hold back, dubbing it the saddest car ever made, a verdict that underscored the disconnect between the redesign and consumer expectations. The fallout was significant, with sales plummeting and Ford struggling to regain its foothold in the fiercely competitive sedan market. This cautionary tale serves as a reminder of the delicate balance between innovation and staying true to what works in the automotive industry. 6. Chrysler PT Cruiser, 2001 to 2010. The PT Cruiser is a car that seems to stir up strong feelings one way or the other. While some are drawn to its daringly retro aesthetics, there's no denying that it's a vehicle that tends to elicit chuckles from passers-by more often than not. We find ourselves squarely in the camp that can't help but poke fun at its unconventional appearance. Jalopnik's assessment of it as a shrunken minivan or a bloated neon hits the nail on the head, portraying it as a choice primarily for families seeking simplicity, but perhaps relying a bit too heavily on nostalgia. In essence, it's a vehicle that prompts a raised eyebrow or a smirk from those who encounter it on the road. 5. Citroën Ami 6, 1961 to 1970. Back in the 1960s, the pressure was on for Citroën, the renowned French automaker, to come up with a mid-range car that could go toe-to-toe with fierce competitors like Volkswagen and Renault. However, their answer to this challenge was the Ami, a vehicle that missed the mark with its unconventional features, particularly the oddly angled back window. Interestingly, this design quirk wasn't just a stylistic choice, it was a cost-cutting measure. By angling the window, Citroën could forego the need for additional mechanisms, like prop rods or countersprings, to keep the trunk lid open. Despite the rationale behind it, the result was far from flattering. earning the Amy the dubious distinction of being labeled the most ungainly design ever by Motor Trend, much to Citroen's dismay. 4. Toyota Prius, 2015 present. You probably noticed the Toyota Prius everywhere you go nowadays, right? Well, despite its widespread presence, there's a faction of car enthusiasts who aren't exactly thrilled about its design. Take, for instance, the 2015 redesign that's still hanging around dealership lots. It's drawn quite a bit of criticism for making the already quirky Prius resemble something out of a sci-fi flick. Some folks have gone as far as comparing it to an angry double-chin guppy with a rather intimidating appetite for human faces. But hey, when you're getting over 50 miles per gallon and you're counting on Toyota's rock-solid reputation for reliability, perhaps a slightly unconventional appearance is a compromise that many of us are willing to overlook. After all, practicality and efficiency often trump aesthetics in the world of automotive decisions. 3. Ford Edsel, 1958 to 1960. Is it the ugliest car ever? Nah, but there aren't many automotive blunders worse than this one. Back in the 50s, the Ford Edsel earned its place as a legendary flop. As the New York Times put it, it was like that awkward duckling that never quite blossomed into a graceful swan. Ford poured around $250 million into crafting the distinctive Edsel. But sadly, it just didn't resonate with buyers who were moving towards different tastes. One of the most criticized design elements, that grille. According to the Washington Post, it was likened to everything from an Oldsmobile, sucking a lemon to a toilet seat, and even some cruder comparisons. 2. AMC Pacer, 1975 to 1979. You know, back in the 70s, America churned out its fair share of not-so-pretty cars. Looking at you, Pintos, and El Caminos. A bunch of them came from this car company called AMC. But let me tell you, even among the not-so-attractive rides, the AMC Pacer stood out for its special kind of unattractiveness. It was supposed to be compact, but it didn't quite hit the mark. AMC even marketed it as the world's first wide-body compact, a category nobody asked for, as per the truth about cars. They described it as a chunky compact for those who despised chunky compacts. 1. Pontiac Aztek, 2001 to 2005. Car and driver goes in on the Aztek, not pulling any punches. They describe it as a minivan and drag monstrosity, emphasizing just how unattractive it is. They even go as far as saying it's so ugly that even a blobfish wouldn't want to be seen next to it. Despite briefly gaining some attention due to its appearance on Breaking Bad as Walter White's vehicle, where its unconventional blend of SUV and sporty sit-in got some screen time, it remains a top contender for discussion among car enthusiasts when the topic of ugly comes up. And that's it for today. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time.